Hi, and thanks for joining me on another Tom Did It service video. In this video I'll be performing a service on the front end main head bearings on this bike, top and bottom. I've currently got the bike propped up on a stand and some pieces of wood, and the front wheel and suspension is removed. This is because I'm midway through a suspension service video, so look out for that one. And if you're interested on how I prop the bike up, it is explained in that suspension video. I've owned the bike for about a year now, and I haven't serviced the main head bearing, nor do I have any service records of when it was last serviced. Although I don't have any problems or any grinding or grooves that I can feel in the bearings, I just don't want to miss the opportunity to do it now and a full inspection. So I do want to note that although I've got the front end off the bike, you don't necessarily need to remove the suspension entirely to perform a service, although you do need to prop the bike up. You can in fact leave the suspension locked in the lower triple clamps, and by removing loosening this bolt and this one, you can actually remove the top triple clamp and the handlebars, lift them off, and then gain access to the bearings by moving this. This is also the same method as if you would like to, if you have play in the front end of the bike where you can rock the bike backwards and forwards and feel that these are loose, you will need to tip the front handlebars off here, and then you can adjust by moving this collar. So with that said, enough talking from me, and let's get into the video. As I removed some of the old surface grease, I found the top dust cover did a good job on keeping the dirt and the grit out. The bearing does appear to be dry and in need of repacking. As the bearing is still in the frame and in good shape, I decided I would not fully soak or spray degreaser on the bearing, however spend 15 minutes removing as much of the old grease as possible using a small screwdriver and cleaning cloths. At the end, I think I would have removed about 80% of the old grease, which is good enough for me. Also, I may force some additional old grease out the bottom of the bearing when I repack the bearing with new grease. Here you can see the lower bearing has been contaminated with dust and dirt, probably because of its location, and that there is no dust cover like the top bearing. This one is in desperate need of a full clean and repacking with new grease. Here I'm degreasing the lower bearing with kerosene. I find kerosene works great on things like chains and other components that are thick with grease. Now to remove the kerosene, I'm going to hit the parts with a multi-purpose cleaning solvent. Now it's time to dry the parts with some compressed air. I think you'll agree this looks much better. Time to repack the bearing with grease. So as you can see, this is where the bearing race sits, just up under there. This is the view up through the frame. I can't see any signs of wear, and I can't feel anything there with my nail all the way around, so that's still smooth. I'll put a very fine coat of oil on that before putting the main stem back up through and starting to reassemble it. But I'm really happy with that. Here I'm tightening the lock ring that compresses the main head assembly together. My service manual doesn't share a scientific number of how tight this should be, and if it did, I don't have the tools to accurately torque it to specification. So I'm doing it by feel. By leaving the lock ring too loose or too tight will present different problems. too loose, you may have unwanted play or rocking in the front end. If too tight, you may experience heavy steering or overcompressing the bearings against the race. So I'm taking my time to ensure the steering head operates smoothly with no loose play or grinding. Okay, so this is the end of the video. It went as well as can be. Obviously I haven't tightened this one up as part of this video just because I'll finalize that when I get the forks back in down through the triple clamps, which will probably be captured in my other video, the suspension service. But in terms of this video here, we have re-greased both bearings, cleaned them out. More so the bottom one, but I'm still super happy with the top one as well. You did notice that I used a specialist ring spanner on here. It was slightly the wrong size that I ordered online, but it did the job. You could see there isn't much tension on here, but there's just enough tension so that it moves freely and there is no play. You know, you have to go there by feel, really. But I hope this video's earned your like and subscription, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks and bye for now.